Good afternoon, everybody. It gives me great pleasure to be announcing the webinar for Buying Agents Associations today on behalf of the organizing team, EPCH and BAA. From telex in my career, from telex to fax to computers. Today we are into technology, and our title today is Technology, Design and Craft with Science. So today we are going to bring you a stellar organized event with EPCH, the Buying Agents Association, and industry leaders from liaison offices and buying offices, industry, factories. We're going to speak about how they are threading technology into their craft and their design and the manufacturing process for the extremely interesting times of great opportunity here for us. I'd like to begin with Anika Pasi, who is heading and country manager for the warehouse group in New Zealand. And I'd like her to start with telling us how technology is helping her in communication and how are the customers in New Zealand being able to communicate on the ground floor from factory inspections to business today. And Anika Pasi is not only country manager for the warehouse group, she has also a lot of achievements under her hat. But if I should start, we'll spend 1 hour on it. So I welcome Anika Pasi to kick off the show, to moderate it, and let's all enjoy this wonderful historical moment that we are in today that we'll tell our grandchildren about. Anika.
Thank you, Rohini ji.
You're on mute. Great. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohini ji, and good day, everybody. I think it's an historic moment wherein we are doing the first virtual show for jewelry in today's day when people cannot travel due to the virus situation. So I think this is a fantastic medium to be talking to each other, and especially thank you to BAA and EPCH for putting together this webinar that talks about how we are integrating technology in our lives, and specifically to retail. You know, how are we amalgamating technology with art and craft and design and retailing? So technology has touched every sphere of our life, and you know, in the past 1 or 2 decades, the way it has influenced retail is unbelievable. Just for the purpose of this webinar, I will stick to retail and fashion and jewelry, and how our buyers and our merchants are using technology in various spheres of life. So past 20 years or so, we've been using Lectra, Tukatek, and many other softwares to convert patterns into e-patterns and transfer them between the buyers for fitting and production, etc. In the last decade, technology and various softwares have influenced design and sampling in a very, very big way. And I will also touch upon the softwares which our jewelry suppliers are using in particular. You know, so you have got CAD/CAM, people are using Coral in a very big way. We use technology for trend forecasting, design sampling, and specifically in terms of Adobe, they have got so many tools in it, and our designers use Illustrator, InDesign, InCopy, Premiere Pro, Prelude. Some of our jewelry exporters are specifically using Rhino, JewelCAD, Matrix, SimDesign, Emperor, and you know, there are so many of them. So everybody finds comfort and they're more comfortable with a particular software which they use. And as you know, travel is very difficult now, so people are doing 3D rendering. There are a lot of softwares in this sphere as well. And within our panelists, we've got very technical people who will be talking about all these softwares during the course of this webinar. Our jewelry designers are also using digital wax system and direct casting. So those are, again, some softwares which are very, very specific to jewelry. So not talking much, and I like the panelists and to talk more about it. In the meanwhile, I would also like to introduce you all to the leadership team of Export Promotion Council of Handicraft and the Buying Agents Association before I introduce you to the panelists. And because it is with their efforts, a lot of efforts have gone into putting this virtual show together and this webinar together. So I'd like to start off with introducing you to Mr. Ravi Pasi. Mr. Pasi, if you could wave to us. Yeah. So Mr. Ravi Pasi is the chairman EPCH. He's also the proprietor for RK Arts in Delhi, who is the leading exporter of handicrafts, and he's been in this field for more than 30 years. He's also served as co-chairman of National Center for Design and Product Development. So Mr. Pasi is a stalwart and a guiding force to all of us. So thank you very much, Mr. Pasi, for putting this show together and for all your guidance to young entrepreneurs. I'd now like to introduce Mr. Malhotra. Mr. Malhotra is the vice chairman EPCH, and he's proprietor for Messrs. Asian Handicrafts, which is a leading exporter of handicrafts, and he's been in this field for over 30 years as well. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Navendra Rahman. He's the vice chairman of EPCH and managing director of Z Sons, which is again a leading handicraft exporter from Moradabad. He's also the president of Moradabad Handicrafts Exporter Association. Welcome, Mr. Rahman. Now I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Rakesh Kumar, who is the man and the brain behind the India Export Center Mart in Greater Noida. All of you must have heard about it. It is about 2.5 million square feet of exhibition space, and most of India's big exhibitions are being held there now. Mr. Kumar has held many senior portfolios in various organizations. He's also the Chief Executive Officer of Export Promotional Trade Organization, and very, very active in everything. Now I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Vineet Bhatia. He's the president of IPJAS, and Vineet will be speaking to us as well in terms of how this show has been put together during the course of the webinar. His company, Medallion Exports, is a leading manufacturer, wholesaler, and exporter of silver and fashion jewelry since 2012. Welcome. Mr. Anshul Gola, he's the vice president of IPJAS. He's also into fashion jewelry and silver jewelry. So welcome all the leaders of EPCH, and during the course of the webinar, we'd like to have your thoughts and views as well on how to incorporate technology into fashion. So I'll now introduce you to the panelists, and we'll start with the first panelist, Ms. Priya Sachdeva. Priya is a young and dynamic business leader with over 20 years of experience into manufacturing, retail, and technology. She was the South Asia hub leader for WGSN, which is a leading trend forecasting site. She's co-founded Evanto Consulting, which is a full-service firm focusing on B2B market assistance for organizations wanting to enter and expand into new territories. Priya also represents some technology companies in India, and she'll be sharing with us what are the various technologies which are available. So Priya, over to you now, and it will be great if you could tell us what are the various tools which are available, and how are they helping the retail trade and designers, etc. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you so much, Anika, for the introduction. And I'm really excited to be part of this first virtual show that we are doing for the fashion industry. So before we begin with, what are the technology tools that are important, which are already being used and which are going to be important going forward, I think a really important thing for us to talk about is how is technology becoming an enabler, and I really believe that, going forward, this is going to help us, with the new order, with the new world order that we have. This is really a chance and opportunity to do something, make some quantum leaps over here. So most importantly, technology helps manufacturers with market access. So when I say market access, you can, it gives you access beyond the physical, what is physically possible. And it's basically, it helps you to gain insights on how your business, can expand without having to move out of, where you're based. So there's a lot that's happening on that side. It also helps to improve output efficiencies and increase productivity. That's, I think every manufacturer would love to hear something like that. And it's possible to do that. So data mining and data, data backed decisions. That's something that I'm really passionate about. And I really think that that is going to help in every stage of what we, how we do our businesses, especially with the forecasting. I mean, the traditional methods of forecasting have been around for a while, but forecast, because, given the evolving world order that we have, where forecasting is going to become very difficult, because you cannot really forecast beyond a few months. So real-time data which is available right now, that is going to become extremely important. So whether you're a manufacturer or you're a retailer buyer, data that you can get about your factory or about your customers at this point is going to become extremely important. Like I said, technology is going to, we are really looking at some organizations and countries which have taken this quantum jump, which have used this new normal or new world to take quantum jumps. I just read yesterday that GEAR, which is the Government Association of Rajasthan, they have come up with, they've called it the WCM, the world, they're calling it the world manufacturing. It's a WCM is the new, technology. They want to take jumps in technology, and the entire hub in Jaipur is trying to do, something around that. So world-class manufacturing, that was the name. And I know that Bangladesh is doing it. They are already giving training to people on technology, on 3D, 2D, and it's definitely possible in India as well. And in India, people are already doing it. And fourth, most importantly, I think, which brings the craft angle into it and the customization angle into it, which is very important, is that it gives you speed to market. It helps you, churn, to be able to have the design to product much faster than what it used to be, right? So these are some of the points which I feel are very important to understand about how technology is helping us. Could we move to the next slide, please? Yeah. So here I'm going to talk about how technology is being used by the fashion trade in various aspects. So the first one is on marketing and buying. And of course, the first one there that that is extremely important is the buyer-seller meets. And here I would like to applaud EPCH for being the first one to really be forward-thinking and to realize that, in the coming 1 year or 1.5 years, we will not be able to, physical and virtual will have to move together. So they've done some great, this is the first event that they've done, and I think they have some more lined up. In marketing and buying, even catalog creation, showcasing your design, can be done with technology. You have image creation. So instead of having live models and, having shoots, you can have image creation that is done, by technology. I'll talk about some examples later. The buyer-seller interaction, I think everybody in all industries have realized that this whole face-to-face meeting people is kind of overrated. It's time for us to use technology to be able to do that. We've all been working from home. We've all been able to do it successfully. So I really think there are various, tools over there that can be used for buyer-seller interaction. And of course, with your supply chain, the supply chain can get much faster if you use technology to share your files, to share, your ideas and move forward. Next slide. Right. So coming to how technology is being used for design and forecasting, of course, we have, it's being used for researching global and local trends. But what I would like to, really focus on is demand forecasting, as we are calling it. So like I was saying, data can give you the demand for your product. So imagine as a retailer or as a manufacturer, if you can know what are the best sellers on the various, online portals. And based on that, how can I change my, my manufacturing? Or for a retailer, how can I change the, merchandise mix that I have? So that is, so that's basically forecasting, but with data. You are validating, things with data. That is that's important. And sampling, like Anika, you said there are whole lot of tools there, for 2D, 3D rendering, which I'll talk about. So sampling, I mean, there's everything can be done. I mean, it's sustainable, it's faster, it's, you're not, wasting time. So it has a lot of advantages to, do that. Yeah, and coming to the main factor, of course, which is fashion for technology in production. Of course, India, we've been doing a lot on this already, but there are some really good tools that have now come up, which is for planning, for digitizing your quality control. So you can actually, look at your defects real time and be able to, quickly, be able to customize them or to be able to rectify them. And of course, customization of, the crafts, which is, like I said, the design to product cycle is, is another place where technology is being used. Next slide. Nitin, the next slide, please. Yes. Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight a few tools, in the various aspects that I've spoken about. So the first one is marketing and buying. And there, of course, the EPCH, this whole event that they've done it is on a virtual platform called 6Connex, which helps you with having, conferences, like, panel discussions like this. You have an auditorium, you have exhibit halls. So you have the entire gamut there. Zilingo, which is, it's a Singapore-based company, which is doing a lot of work in the B2B for manufacturers, in India and in the Southeast Asian market. And they have a tool which helps you to be able to, like I was talking about catalog creation, to be able to make your company catalogs or your company profiling, and even, the shoots and everything can be done through them. Flixtalks is another great tool. Again, that is basically you're using AI to be able to automate your photography. So you take the image of the model, a live model, and then they can use it over various, formats to be able to give you multiple images. So again, there is, efficiencies there, sustainability that we're talking about. And of course, I wanted to add a few, like, which is for your interactions, are the ones that I've mentioned below. That is Google Meet, Zoom, Dropbox, very important, File for file sharing, Google Drive for file sharing, etc. Next slide. Yes. So coming to design, forecasting, and sampling, of course, therefore, sampling, there is, my other panelists are going to talk about Rhino and Trello. As you had mentioned, for 3D sampling, there is Stuka 3D, there is Poly9, Flow, Browseware. In terms of the forecasting and design, WGSN has always been, it's the oldest company in forecasting. They do a marvelous job of, looking at global trends. Stylumia is what I would like to kind of focus on, because like I was saying, they use it's analytics, it's a fashion analytics company. So it's not a generic analytics company, and it helps retailers and manufacturers to take data-backed decisions with accurate and real-time planning. So what does that mean? That means that they have a demand sensing engine, which can collect data globally or locally. And based on that, you're able to ascertain whether, there's a bestseller, or not. So what are the products which are bestsellers in dresses and, tops and bottoms, etc. So imagine as a buyer, you get to know in real time, what are the bestsellers. And as a manufacturer, you can look. So there are manufacturers like MAS in Sri Lanka who are using it, and buyers like Target who are using it. So MAS uses it to know that what is selling on my buyer's site. And how should I be able to, how can I make my product a bestseller? Next slide. Here in the planning and production, they were Zilingo again is, like I said, they have a manufacturing execution software which helps to digitize the quality control. So they help you to reduce defects and to be able to improve efficiencies. Based on that, they're already doing some great work with some Indian companies, for the digitization at the factory floor in the assembly line. WebTNA, there are several WebTNA, products that are available that helps you, instead of having Excel sheets, it helps you to be able to dynamically plan your TNA. TNA is such an important part of, this industry. And of course, like for the customization, I'd come across some great articles on how Japanese companies like Shimaseki have done they've created something called whole garment, which means that you can make from a yarn to a garment is made between 1 hour to 4 hours. So they want to now market that, in different countries, where you can just go into a mall, choose your design, and then after 4 hours or 3 hours, it's ready. So these are revolutionary things, but the exciting part is that they're already part of our life. So it's I think the manufacturers in India should use this as an opportunity to start using some of them. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Priya. I mean, these are some unbelievable insights, and it's so heartening to see that Indian exporters are already using these tools in a very big way.
Yes.
Very technology savvy and technology forward. And, as of now, we can basically transact most of the business virtually. You can do sampling, you can do fitting, you can do analytics, you can talk, you can do virtual meetings. Right now, we're having a virtual trade show. So it's
Right.
beautiful. And thank you so much for your insights. I hope all the attendees have noted down all the softwares, and as and when whatever is suitable for them, they'll use it. And for any specific queries, they can always get in touch with Priya. Her email ID was there. And Priya, maybe you could mention your email ID in the chat box.
So in the chat box, yeah, sure.
Right. Okay. So after Priya, we will now move on to a very young and dynamic entrepreneur, Anuba. She started her own company called Anuba in jewelry about 3 years ago. So let's hear it from the millennial entrepreneur. So welcome on board, Anuba. You could just unmute yourself, please, from the left side. You're still, yeah. Anuba, you...
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible. Okay. So Anuba, we just wanted to know from you, how has technology helped the craft of jewelry making? You're from Jaipur, which is the heart of, jewelry and gems in India. So tell us how has your journey been, and how have you incorporated technology in your business?
Okay, so technology, jewelry is a field especially where we need technology in every step. So I would like to tell you that jewelry manufacturing involves technology from the beginning till the end, every little step. So it involves usage of very advanced technology and a dedicated research. Every process in a jewelry manufacturing undergoes various procedures until we get a final product as a finished beautiful jewelry piece. So for that, I would like to make you go through my website, which is just an overview of a jewelry making process. I hope I'm audible. Anika? Yeah. So what we do, so the idea of a jewelry like brand Anua is born with the idea holding where we use different unusual raw materials like ceramic, wood, horn, leather, with an idea to hold sustainability and also value the handmade culture, and which is uneven, and every product is unique. So the second page takes you takes you to the first step of jewelry making, which is like how the designers start with the development. Again, where we use technology and use platforms like WGSN and go through the fashion weeks, and of course the most popular Pinterest and Instagram, to just know about the floating trends around the world. Being an exporter, the next step with this information, the designer begins the process of elaborating it and developing the collections. Can you please switch to the next slide? Here I've mentioned the softwares which we use in our unit, which is the Illustrator. It's a 2D, Rhino, 3D, and a Photoshop. Again, just to take the help of the... Can you please switch to the next slide? That this is like how the designer collects the ideas and tries to pass it on to the artisans, which who help us make the final piece. Can you take it to the next step, please? Here, once the designs are approved, we use our goldsmiths and artisans and make use of our like established workshops already. And yeah, there are also other stages of productions which are involved, like the bench production, plating and casting in the making. And we also use, can you please switch to the next slide? Our already established workshops for ceramics, paper mache, enameling, which help us play and manipulate with our piece in different ways. Can you please switch to the next slide? Then once we are done with the production of the piece, after it's forwarded for a proper quality check, we give it for final photography, which is again use of technology, I think. And then it is passed on as a catalog to the respective buyers. So that's how our journey is all about.
Oh, it's beautiful. Anubha, you have, I mean, a traditional art of Jaipur, you have amalgamated it so well with technology. So that's beautiful. And, you know, so you're so young and full of ideas. So if you had a magic wand, how would you want science to, you know, influence your craft? What have you seen so far? And what is your wish list?
So if I had a magic wand, I would love to develop such materials which can be easily cultivated and replenished simultaneously. Like material science has advanced in a big way, and it still has a lot of scope to develop. So I would say as per the current, like reading the current scenario, seeing the current stage climate disturbance, we are in an urgent need to develop such materials which are recyclable, sustainable, and contribute to the circular economy of our world. Now, I would like to quote an example here. Like suppose first example I would like to take from our unit, we use ceramic. Ceramic and paper mache, both are sustainable products. Ceramic is also not just sustainable, it is made up of natural materials. Ceramic is made up of clay and natural ingredients, which does not involve any destruction of any natural resources. Which is, I would say, it's like again my idea of developing a sustainable product. To this, I would like to add on another example. Now there is a very popular green gold going around getting popular globally, which is bamboo.
Yes.
Many buyers are preferring it over wood for two reasons. First, it is easy to grow, make. Second, it's also very flexible to use. And many regions, and compared to wood, I would say. So I've seen there's like a demand in many regions for bamboo over wood. Again, the idea is it is sustainable.
Oh, fantastic, Anubha. You added such a nice sustainability angle to jewelry as well. So I hope all the panelists and attendees are listening to Anubha and they can, you know, really develop a whole range of sustainable jewelry. So lovely. Thank you so much, Anubha. It's been very insightful hearing you.
Yeah, and I would like to also in our, I think I forgot to mention in our work, we also try to emphasize on the handwork and the unevenness, which is also again the beauty.
Yeah, which is what India and handicraft is known for. Thank you so much, Anubha. I really appreciate all the work that you're doing. Keep doing the good work.
That human touch to the product along with technology should never be lost. That's what
absolutely awesome. Very well done. Thank you so much. Okay, I would now like to invite Ms. Christine, who's the chairperson of BAA, Buying Agents Association, who has worked very closely with EPCH to put this show and this webinar together. So Christine, we'd like to have your thoughts in terms of where do you see technology amalgamating with art and craft. Over to you, Christine.
Thank you, Anika. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's really exciting to be here for this first ever virtual show. And thank you to the EPCH. Thank you to the IFJUS organizers. And also thank you to Team BAA and to our panelists today. It's very exciting. So I think a lot has been said about technology, and I'm not going to go in there. I just wanted to share a few thoughts that I had. You know, as we are seeing, every crisis has opportunity. And what I see is tremendous energy and tremendous, enthusiasm everywhere to go out and find this opportunity. So BAA, I know, is extremely keen to help all our industries. So we will be working with all our exporters, whether they're in apparel, whether they're in fashion, whether they're in fashion jewelry, whether they're in handicrafts, carpets, jute or silk. We feel it is our responsibility as the kind of bridging group between what's happening on the client side and what can be done in India. So I think technology is this big quantum leap for all of us. And I know as I'm talking to people, there is a great deal of fear. And I think that's normal. And I think we should all just accept that it's okay to be afraid, but don't be afraid to ask what it can do for you, because that really is the key. What can this technology do for you? I was born in 1959, and I am not from the technology age. I worked for about 10 years before computers even came into being, and I'm famous for being the person. I had an iPhone that lived in a drawer for a year because I was too scared and I didn't know how to use it. I stuck to my old Nokia. So I'm really, I'm not a good ambassador for technology. So when I'm saying that we need to embrace technology, so, and as you all know, both Paris and Milan have announced that they will be doing virtual fashion shows. So I really want to send this message out to our entire exporter community. What are we afraid of? Yes, we're afraid somebody might copy us because our designs are online. But what about the fashion houses? Everything is online now. So don't be afraid. Learn how to do it. What you create today, somebody will be copying tomorrow. You will always be one step ahead. So please take that message home. And I would hope that we will be able to do this type of session with all our exporter communities to really try and encourage them not to be afraid. And it is all about community collaboration. Look at the fabulous collaboration that is happening here. More and more, people are sharing ideas because we are strong. Most of our exporters, our factories are entrepreneurs, they're designers in their own right. They should not be afraid. They should be very, very, engaging with the technology, using the technology to take their businesses to the next level. So I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the sessions. And I think as both you and Rohini mentioned, photography is a very important key in making it. So you can do only so much on the computer, and then you actually have to create the product. So I want everybody to understand the product will still exist. Our handcraft will not be destroyed by this. It will help to get our handcraft out into the world better, easier. We can tell the story. I went to a few booths at IFJAS yesterday, and I was very pleased to see one of the exporters was showing actually his factory. And this is where you can show how your product is made by hand. What are the variations? You can educate your customers so much more simply and easily than when you're just telling somebody face to face. They kind of don't hear it. When they see it, they hear it. So as we say, seeing is believing. And I would like, to just say thank you for this opportunity. And BAA is very much going to be taking this message forward to all our exporter partners, whether they're in fashion, whether they're in home, whether they are in textiles. So thank you, Annika. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Christine. As you said, photography, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So we have a panelist who will be talking about photography as well. And it is all virtual these days. So, photography, videography, we are live with every corner of the world today. So thank you so much, Christine. You've really been leading the collaboration in this lockdown period, and the exporter community has come so much closer to each other than they were earlier. Thank you. I would now like to invite the leadership of EPCH to speak a few words about this webinar, the IFJAS. Mr. Pasi, if you could start, that'd be really nice. Thank you. Mr. Pasi, you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. So I was a little busy. So it's a new era, basically, virtual fair. And day before yesterday, I had a meeting with Mr. Piyush Goyal of his SIM. And there were 25 chairman, FIO president also. और मुझे याद है कि मैं थोड़ा कम बोलता हूँ, मगर कई बार ठीक भी बोल जाते हैं। और उसमें से एक चेयरमैन ऐसा था, मे बी वूल और समथिंग, वो बार बार कहता था कि सर हमें वर्चुअल फेयर लगाना है, वर्चुअल फेयर लगाना है। एंड सेक्रेटरी कॉमर्स वाज देयर एंड अमित, मिस्टर अमित, ही इज आल्सो डीजी वाज आल्सो देयर। एंड उन्होंने बोला ठीक है नेक्स्ट रवि पासी बोलेंगे। तो मैंने कहा सर ये तो सारा ठीक है, आप कह रहे हैं कि बहुत डाउन हो गया है एक्सपोर्ट्स वगैरह, मगर मैं आपको एक चीज कहना चाह रहा हूं कि हम 2 दिन के बाद वर्चुअल फेयर प्लेटफॉर्म हम शुरू करने वाले हैं, उसको इंट्रोड्यूस करने वाले हैं वर्ल्ड वाइड।
Mr. Pasi, if I may interrupt, हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत सारे buyers भी हैं, तो अगर आप
So because of in our industry, I have attended so many meetings, whether it's to PMO and all that. कि जो those who speak a very good English also, they said, no, please come in your language. So anyway, and yesterday, Mr. Piyush Goyal office also called me many times to send your man or you come and show us what is virtual fair, what is this technology.
Yeah.
I said, sir, this you can see, you can show all your things on tech basis in your office, whether you are in America or in Europe, wherever you are, and also you can see the fashion shows along with the samples of all the exporters.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, what is this? I don't understand. Okay, you send your man. So we sent our man in Mr. Piyush Goyal office, Minister of Commerce, and Siddharth, he told me, sir, in the evening that he gave me 50 minutes about this show, and he said, what is this? I have to take this matter to PMO. That this is already done in our country.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is, something, the team, Mr. Rakesh also, he worked so hard for 48 days, and we had so many meetings to build this platform. And today, with this high tech, we are successful, and we are also doing 3 shows within 2 months. So great thing. So now it's a tech era.
Yeah.
During this COVID, world has changed, so we have to go accordingly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. As you rightly said, this is virtual reality. So this is reality, right? Rakesh, if you could just add on a little bit more from the EPCH side, how was all this done? And then I'll invite Mr. Vineet to talk about IFJAS as well. So Rakesh, if you could please come on.
Anika ji,
yeah.
Rakesh ji is not there.
I see.
And we would request Mr. Navedur Rahman,
okay,
our Vice Chairman,
okay,
to say a few words on the subject which is being spoken here, and then we'll move on. Mr. Navedur Rahman.
Thank you. Mr. Rahman, please.
Yes, good evening everybody. और मैं इस तरह से शुरू करता हूँ कि मुझे याद है जब हमने अपना बिजनेस शुरू किया था तो हम बाई पोस्ट लेटर्स भेजते थे। उसके बाद ऐसा हुआ कि कुछ अपडेट हुए और हमारे पास टेलेक्स आया, और टेलेक्स के बाद फिर अचानक एक सरप्राइज हुआ कि फैक्स आ गया। फिर फैक्स के बाद हमारे पास अपडेट है ईमेल का। अब फिर हमने शोज शुरू किए और हमें आज ये जान के हैरत इस बात की, खुद हम देख रहे हैं कि अब हमें ये भी महसूस नहीं हुआ कि अब वर्चुअल शो भी हम करेंगे। तो इट्स वेरी गुड। और आज की जो सबसे ज़्यादा नीड है वो लॉकडाउन पीरियड के अंदर वर्चुअल शो से बेटर कुछ नहीं हो सकता मेरे हिसाब से, कि बाहर का एक्सेस नहीं है, बाहर शोज में जा नहीं सकते, हम लॉकडाउन है फैक्ट्रीज के अंदर, लेकिन काम तो हमें चाहिए, बगैर काम के तो हम सर्वाइव कैसे करेंगे, वी नीड बिजनेस। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ये बहुत अच्छा स्टेप है और इट्स अ फ्यूचर, बिल्कुल इसी तरह से जिस तरह से हम टेक्नोलॉजी अपडेट करते आए हैं। लेकिन फर्स्ट नाउ वी हैव टू लर्न हाउ वी हैव टू एडजस्ट टुगेदर दिस टेक्नोलॉजी, एंड वी रियली नीड टू लर्न अ लॉट, स्टिल वी नीड टू लर्न अ लॉट, एज Mr. Christine says that we need a better photography, और हमें अपने आप को उस टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ किस तरीके से एडजस्ट करना है। लेकिन दैट्स फॉर श्योर फ्यूचर यही है, फ्यूचर वर्चुअल शोज ही हैं, फ्यूचर जिसमें टाइम्स हैं, फ्लाइट्स 12-13 घंटे की फ्लाइट्स हैं, 8 घंटे की फ्लाइट्स हैं, 7 जा रहा, थका हुआ है, होटल चाहिए, रेस्ट कर रहा, बट वी आर फ्रेश, वी जस्ट गेटिंग द शो। तो ये एक बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है और बहुत अच्छा स्टेप्स है। और मैं बार बार EPCH का भी इसमें बहुत अच्छा, इन्होंने सबसे पहला शो जो है वो इंडिया में इसको ऑर्गेनाइज किया है। और स्टिल वी नीड अ लॉट ऑफ चेंजेस, अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क स्टिल नीड टू डू। तो बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत है और मैं तो यही कहना चाहूँगा इस चीज़ के लिए कि हमें सिर्फ टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ स्टे करना है, किस तरीके से हम उसके साथ स्टे करते हैं और किस तरह से अपने आप को अपडेट रखते हैं। थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल।
Thank you, Mr. Rahman. Your words are very encouraging for everybody. Thank you so much. Vineet ji, if I could request you to please talk about how this fair was put together. Over to you.
I think thanks all the panelists and the EPCH and Christine for your encouraging words, much needed in this tough times. On behalf of EPCH and as president of first ever virtual fashion jewelry accessory fair, I welcome you all to this webinar. I'm Vineet. They've given me an introduction. Well, just start with, we never imagined this warlike scenario in our lives called COVID. With the virtual being the new normal, past few weeks, we were not even sure that we'd open our offices or workplace. But again, all thanks to science and technology and EPCH, who's created history. Doing business again was a very big challenge, not only in exports, but I think various industries across spectrum. So EPCH has converted this challenge into an opportunity, and by giving us this virtual platform. And this bold initiative taken by EPCH is a silver lining, I think, for all exporters and buyers in this tough time. So this has not only reduced travel cost, but I think many operational costs for buyers and exporters and everything. So it's given a sense of confidence to us, to exporters, like, yes, we have to keep our business afloat, and this is the only way going forward. So I will not take much time. There are a lot of specialists there. So I'd just like to thank EPCH again and the entire team for working tirelessly and this testing times and creating history. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vineet. As president of JAS, you put up a great show, and I hope all the buyers are able to take advantage of this virtual show, and a lot of jewelry business comes into India. Thank you so much. From the EPCH side, would there be anyone else who would like to say anything? Rajesh ji? Right. Or shall we move on to the next panelist? Rajesh ji? Okay. I think we will now get into some subject. I wanted to invite Mr. Karan Ahuja, who is the director of Ahuja Sons Shawlwale. Karan, if you could come on screen. Karan is the director for Ahuja Sons, which is a 40-year-old brand and is iconic Indian brand representative of Pashmina shawls and stoles. He's the one who's taken the warmth and the softness of Pashmina to the world. Karan has started he started working at a very, very young age. He's very widely traveled and he's very clued on to international trends and design and what is it that the Western buyers need. So Karan, can I see you on the screen, please? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right,
Hi.
awesome. Okay, great. So Karan, welcome. And as a young entrepreneur and very, very driven by design, and you have the traditional arts of India at your tips, I just wanted to ask you, what excites you about technology and how are you incorporating technology in this traditional art of Pashmina and embroideries and everything that India is famous for? Over to you.
Hi, very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, EPCH and BA, for sharing this platform. Ahuja Sons is a design-oriented company, manufacturing shawls, stoles, and scarves. For us, use of technology is very important in every stage from design development to marketing. So in design development, we use not only designing softwares like Photoshop, but now we also use communication apps like Trello and Monday. So it helps us to connect to our design team with buyers in a complete journey of collection making. It increases the efficiency and time and action. And when we talk about marketing and technology, in marketing, I would say with the current scenario of ongoing COVID-19 crisis, technology is playing a very important role. We are sharing collections with buyers through e-catalogs and also connecting through video communication. In fact, this whole idea of having a virtual show is fantastic. And we are very optimistic that this will also give confidence to our customers that they can virtually see us. So I would say we are ready, and India is ready to deliver quality products. We are equipped with the latest tech. We look forward to work together in upcoming season. So thank you so much. And we are looking for a lot of positivity to come.
All right. So you have opened up and you're all set. Everybody's very positive about business, So,
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karan. It was really very encouraging to hear you. Right. Okay. I will now move on to the next panelist, Mr. Anil Bose. He's a perfect amalgamation of technology, and he's an ace photographer. So he has art and technology at his tips. Welcome on board, Anil. Anil is a postgraduate from National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. He's now an assistant HOD, deputy HOD for ARC College of Design and Business, Jaipur. He's an ace photographer, and he will tell us how to take good photographs and how important photography is in the current virtual world. As you know, we can save a lot of time and money. And if the photographs come out pretty well, we need not send samples for photography, or the exporters are even geared to do the photo shoot, which the buyers have been doing traditionally. And you can have packing inlays. You can send good photographs for advertising, for being online, online photography, etc. So Anil, do tell us a few things and a few tricks which are up your sleeve, and a few more tips. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anika, and this organization that I can share some of the things that I've been doing. And currently I'm working in Arch College as a graphic designer and a teacher there in the capacity of DY HOD. So I'll show little techniques and things that enhance the work, and that can derail the work also. So you see both aspects of what are the things that you need to be mindful of. For example, in this slide, you see both the slides, there are some problems. The one on the right has a product which has a black base, and it seems as if the product is floating in the air. So you have to be mindful of the very basic things of having a shadow or having some light falling to show that. Here in this slide, you see the lights being too obtrusive, they're shining in and creating a very strong highlight onto the product, which is not liked. It should be very gradual and diffused. So we have to be careful about lighting. Here too are samples with a very strong lighting and not desirable really. So you can see the strong highlights that are formed in that slide, and we need to work around that. In this slide, we have tried to counter that by having diffusers placed in front of the light and close to the product. And having the light at a slight angle to the diffuser will give this beautiful gradation that you see in the bottles. And this is what will break through and give you good pictures. Next slide, please. Here too, you have a single light arrangement where you have a product and a reflector. And you have one strong light on the right side of the product and a reflector just to do a little fill-in. So very simple arrangements can be done to do good photography. In some situations, where you have a lot of glass, for example, in these spectacles, to be able to, to get a very diffused shade here, you further, diffuse it further by having double diffusers and the light at a certain angle. When you have that, you have this beautiful gradation. Yeah. Then to add interest in the photography, just not having the product as such, you can build a story like in a flat lay. You see a book and a pair of specs and the things of a traveler. The travel feel with the bag. So this increases the interest, especially for catalogs and other things. Next slide. Here is another flat lay where things are a little more random, but yet very clear and in a very friendly, fresh manner. So this is another way of showing the whole range. this is a very important slide where I want to spend a little more time. The point is that when you do photography, the main thing is that you expose for the product, you know. So see, if you see the left top, you'll see that there's a lot of darkness in the background and all. You do the best lighting possible, but leave little vignetting and all that's happening, leave it as it is. And even in the sandal, you see a gray background, that's okay. But get the sandal color correct. Then later in Photoshop, you can correct it and make the background light, and so that the product is correct and the background is lightened in Photoshop and other softwares. Yeah, next slide, please. The thing about pictures is, you know, the technique and the aesthetics. I think these two things, if you get the fine balance between these two, you do it right. Here you see the display methods that are there, which will aesthetically enhance the product. And while things are hanging on the right side, you have this little tape on the wall and it creates frames. It's just done aesthetically very well. Yeah. Next slide, please. Then be free to use small props. You know, for example, in these masks, we have props kept just, you know, behind the mask. So it has a cup-like feel the way it's used. So it displays better and you get very nice pictures. And then obviously the right side is very straightforward. You have it in a row and you can shoot. Yeah. Then here, you know, you can add a little bit of elements that enhances the product. For example, the hot sauce has some chilies kept in the base, or you have the kettle on the right side, and and using different focal lengths, you know, the little telephoto lens in your camera. If you use that, you can outfocus the props and yet have them there, and you know, focus on the cookies or whatever product you have. So differential focusing helps. Here, explore the whole product, you know, shoot it from all angles, and, you know, highlight all the jewelry or the accessories that are incorporated. So, you know, explore the product and then send the thing. Next slide, please. Here's another important thing, that, you know, use diffuse light. If you see the picture on the right, they're both in the sunlight, but one is being shot in the open space, just in shade, and that gives the diffused light, sunlight effect. While the right one is, you know, it's intruding into the design and the very strong shadows, so that's avoidable. Direct light is avoidable. Yeah. Then be free to explore other different backgrounds. For example, there's an acrylic sheet on the left, and there's a, you know, velvet dummy on the right, and you have diffused light like I was talking about earlier, and that really enhances the product and brings out the gemstones in your jewelry work. Yeah. Next slide, please. Then also, you know, by having models to actually wear your products, you know, it gives another realistic image in terms of what will the aesthetic be like, you know. And you can have very simple poses. It can be an environmental outside picture, you know, where the background is not obtrusive. That's the main thing. Then, you know, it's a little pose and some things, some little situations that you can do to further enhance the experience. Then the other important thing, that you obviously need the techniques. So these are the techniques that can be used for different products. Next slide, please. Here, you can have a basic crop sensor DSLR camera. Any of these brands are perfect. So all the three, Canon, Nikon, Sony, can be used. And there's a kit lens of 18 to 135. So it's a wide to a short tele, which is perfectly okay to start off with. And you need a tripod, definitely. On the right, you have a good mobile, maybe 10 megapixels or a little higher. And that also should be used with a tripod, not handheld. Then you won't get sharpness in your product. Then here's an example of just daylight being used from the window. And you have a diffuser which softens the light, and you have the camera from the other side. So, and simple backgrounds to get very aesthetically strong pictures. Here are the diffusers, where you have a very elaborate situation of diffusers. So they are flashlights, which would cause very strong shadows. And then you have a diffuser which cuts that and just lets very soft light go in. And on the left side, you can see a very small situation where you can use a small diffuser to do, you know, small accessories and things. Yeah. Next slide, please. This is another very interesting thing which has been here for some time, but I just want to bring it up. it's the tent box light, you know, where you have LEDs within this foldable box, which is shown on the right hand side, the design. And there are other boxes where you can have external lights passing through a, say, a translucent substance material that is used. Here you have in LED lights which are within the thing. And the beauty of this arrangement is that, you know, you don't have to do elaborate lighting, you know, it's already done for you. Lights coming from most of the angles. And you'll have very minimal shadow picture like you see in the cell phone. So it's very foolproof. You don't have to be very technically sound, and you know, anybody within an hour will be shooting very well and getting very good jewelry and small accessory products very well. Yeah. So this is go-to, and it's very cheap also. Yeah. There's another arrangement. Again, you have LED lights instead of studio lights. So that doesn't warm up the place. And you have an acrylic base, and you also have an interesting light which is from below. So if you want a glow-like effect in your product, you know, a halo around that Rubik's Cube, you can do that by having that light pass through the acrylic and, you know, showcase, come into the image. So this kind of a small setup for small products is fine, absolutely. Yeah. Then this is another development where you don't have flashlights, but you have CFL lights, you know, which don't heat up the place. And what happens is, without flash, you can control exactly what you see is what you will get, you know, that WYSIWYG thing. So CFL is excellent, where you can control the light, doesn't heat up the place, and as you know, any size product can be used. Yeah. Next slide. Here again, you have CFL lights. You have LED lights. Sorry, you have LED lights over here, and here you don't need a flash system, but just LED lights, continuous light, that is. And you have this very interesting adjustment of brightness control on the right panel that you can see, and you can control that and get what exact brightness that you want in your image. Yeah, next slide, please. Here's a full-blown studio where you have flashlights and a big backdrop where you have where you can shoot a model or some very large products that you want. So this will cost you a package, but this is for a long-term arrangement where you can, you know, have different colored backdrops and have these lights. Yeah. Next slide. Here you have again the studio lights in a very controlled and, you know, for smaller products. So you have the lights much closer. You need to be fairly expert in the DSLR camera, because you'll have to control the exposure and get don't burn it, overpowering it with the lights. So a little bit of practice will be needed, but this can be done and you get fantastic, good contrast images. So I want to thank you for this time that I got to share some of my.
Thank you so much, Anil. You're a pro at photography, and with your presentation, you've just told all of us the tips and the props and the various things we can use to become photographers ourselves. And it's not expensive at all. Anything from a $50 to $1,000, that's the max investment that you need to turn out a beautiful photographer and send beautiful pictures to the buyers and transact a lot of business. Thank you so much. It was very, very simple and very interesting. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Could I just add something here? You know, as a buying agent, we spend a lot of time looking at photographs. And even yesterday, I spent a little while going to some of the booths, and it makes a huge difference when the photography is good and the photography is not good. So I think, you know, some of you are already way ahead there. You're already doing it, but there's a large number of our exporter community. And as I said, one of BAA's big aims here is to try to bring knowledge, to bring technology to the entire community so that, you know, India will rise. With all this, our competitors out in the rest of the world are doing it, but we can do it. We have so many talented people. I know it's just about opening people's minds and opening people's eyes to the possibilities. So thank you, Anil. That was really the need of the hour. And as we know, EPCH is planning 2 more virtual shows. So, you know, it just is relatively the trial run for everybody. So it's a great learning, and apparel will be doing it, carpets will be doing it. So we need to really embrace the new normal and take this message out. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Christine, for your kind words. And Anil, if you could please put in your email ID to all the attendees. Or yeah, because a lot of we see a lot of raised hands, but we are really running out of time now. I have to I'll call on the next panelist, Ms. Nupur Batra. And I just wanted to mention that if there is time, we will take the Q&A. Otherwise, please type out your questions and the respective panelists will respond back to you. And also the link, this webinar is being recorded and I've already sent the link on the chat. So please, you can always revisit this webinar again. Anil, please do send your email ID. Okay, now I'd like to welcome Ms. Nupur Batra. She is the founder designer of a craft-based label called Ananya. Nupur is a NIF graduate and she has over 30 years of experience with her. Very, very rich experience, having worked with the craft clusters very, very closely. Her work has been showcased in many museums and conferences nationally and internationally. And her most humbling experience has been that her woven Pashmina ikat was showcased at the Victoria and Albert Museum. So as per Nupur, happiness is handmade. So Nupur, please share with us how has been your journey so far in terms of traditional craft as well as adopting technology, and where do you think the virtual world is going? So you have so much experience, it'd be lovely to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy right now also to be with you, all of you here. Okay, so I am a bit older than the millennial generation like Anuva. Designers like Anuva and younger third generation people, they are born in technology, right? So somebody like me who started my career, say like in 2000, 2004. So we were still used to doing a lot of sketching by hand. And now then we had to upgrade ourselves to get into technology. So of course, this has been a process and we have struggled initially to get over with this. But yes, technology and the virtual platform is the way forward. So earlier, a lot of physical things used to happen and I had to change the backgrounds and I had to give it to my designers. And you know, it was like, of course, if an artist spends like 3 hours to do and my buyer says, no, I don't like the blue, please change into black. I mean, it used to be very irritating for me also and to my buyer back end. But then of course, with a click of a CAD or whatever, Photoshop now, you know, even if the buyer is just changing the basic complementary color, with our CAD and like what Karan said, the Photoshop and Adobe and everything, if my buyer is asking me only for a color of yellow, we are so proactive that we just say, okay, why don't you take a yellow? Why don't you take a mustard? And why don't you take a rust? So as an interaction between an exporter and my buyer who might be sitting in Australia, Japan, wherever, it's easy. And I'm sure in this platform, we as exporters, we have buyers and we have, so there is an interaction. Technology is important. And I want to use this platform and this webinar and give them and shout out to all the buyers outside that like organizations like BAA and EPCH and us, things have changed. Surely they have. You know, we have certain apprehensions of getting virtual, but as Navesh said, that's the only way. Because if you look at the buyer's perspective, it's saving them a lot of effort to come. And if you look at me as an exporter, it's saving me a lot of effort to go and travel. I mean, let's talk about this virtual fair for 4 days that's happened by EPCH. Somebody like me staying in Delhi had to get into a car for 3 hours, go to my stand there and come back again 3 hours. And you'll be surprised. On my first day, usually I used to exchange say 5 cards or 6 cards on my stand at a virtual fair at IFJAS. Since yesterday until today, if we talk about 24 hours to 36 hours, my office people are saying we've got 360 to 370 clicks. I mean, that's what technology can do. And now things like ever since this COVID thing has started, and I do work with Japan, and Japan was very, you know, they were worried to come to India. We started having our inspections over Zoom. And I think that was fantastic. And, you know, our capacity of going from, like my factory is in Noida, going from Noida to Gurgaon, you know, taking permissions, they're not being free. it used to be like cumbersome. If you talk about productivity, we used to do a lot of effort. But now over Zoom, the inspection company came to my factory. We had our repairing and our inspection going on and on. So what would have taken between a factory and a buyer, say 10 days, I think we managed that. We wrapped it up in a day and a half. So of course, I think it's exciting. I'm happy. And because of COVID, things have surely changed. But I think I have a 21-year-old daughter, and I always used to go to her, please put this on Facebook, please put this on that. But now I think thanks to EPCH and people like BAA, I am actually on the control panel and I'm following my buyers. So I think we are ready. We are ready for technology. And I think the buyers should help us. The international buyers should help us. And we are there to offer them whatever under EPCH and BAA guidance.
Awesome, Nupur. It is so good to hear how you embraced technology and yours right from market research.
We are learning, but I guess we all should. It's a process.
Yeah. Right from market research to sampling, to designing, to selling, to production, to inspection, every single field.
Yeah, like Anuva said, she's doing sampling, and then Priya said that from the yarn to the garment, they're doing that in 4 hours. Like that's interesting.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's such an eye-opener, and attending webinars like these, you learn so much. It's lovely. We have already exceeded the time that was slotted for this webinar, which just shows how interesting it is. And so many questions are coming through. Again, I would say probably we would have to respond to the questions via chat mode as well. Rohini ji, would you like to add anything? And let's have a word of thanks to the organizers and to all the panelists. Thank you so much for everything. You have spent so much time putting the slides together and the matter together and sharing it with the entire world. Really appreciate it. Rohini ji, I'll like you to send us to tell us how to take it forward and what is the future for virtual for Indian exporters.
Thank you so much, Anika. I myself have goosebumps because technology is very exciting for me. From the day we took on faxes, emails, today the technology is much wider. Look at what's going on in the screen right now. It's all 3D. It's manufactured, stitched, everything on 3D. This is how we can present to the world what we can do in our own factories. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked with the kind of information that we have garnered today and put together. Wonderful people like Anuva, Ravi, Nupur, and Karan, and people from the industry who have embraced this in such a comfortable manner, like Mr. Pasi, Vineet Bhatia, members from the industry. It means it's here to stay. So whether we go virtual or we go real, it's here to stay. And let's all embrace it and have a great time doing something that we were so scared to do. Like Christine said, the iPhone was in the drawer for 1 year. Well, I can tell you I went through the same situation. I didn't want to buy an Android phone forever. I said the Nokia is the best, or Ericsson at that time, earlier than that. So thank you so much, EPCH, for being the vanguard in providing this platform, for BAA, the industry, the members of the industry, the wonderful attendees who have spent the time here to walk with us through this historic moment that has been created today. And very special thanks to BAA and the team behind Ankit, Manish. They've done such a, Rajesh Rawat, done such a wonderful job to put this together. The only person we are missing now is Rakesh Kumar, but from तहे दिल से हम आपकी शुक्रिया करते हैं कि आपने इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म दिया हमें. Thank you so much. Namaste, world. We are here to be with you and happy to be with you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Here's to a great future. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Great panel. Thank you so much. Thanks.